Last week, we managed to snake our way into a victory, securing us Master 203 LP. This is actually peaking for us. For those of you who don't know, we were a top main, so this is our first season as support. 203 LP, that's the highest we've achieved so far, and we're in unknown territory. Obviously, this game we're playing top lane Gragas. We were put into our secondary role. Also, our team required some AP, so I just couldn't pick Sion. Darius did what Dariuses do. He goes completely all in at level 1, trying to zone us out from the farm. I run him around. Honestly, we're playing this terribly. Like, my Gragas, it's not anything to write home about past Diamond 1. I shouldn't even be playing in the elo. If we didn't need the AP, I guarantee you I'd be playing Sion. The most important thing is Darius is making more mistakes than we are. He goes back in, even though he knows the jungler was in there, this gives us an easy first kill onto Darius. And thank God this jungler was here to back us up, because if he wasn't, we were in for a rough time. I'm just kidding. We still had that extremely rough time. The gank really didn't do anything but delayed the inevitable. Darius still had complete control, and really we're just trying to stay alive and bait him in so that our team can get gold. If he wants to play this aggressive, I mean, he's asking to be punished, and that's what's happening here. He's just handing over gold. I did mention when we were stuck around the 0 LP master area that once we pass through, it's going to get a lot easier for us. We'd start getting team members that are more competent, and you're probably witnessing that now. Like, they're punishing this Darius' over-aggressive play. Diamond 1 players tend to just ignore you. If you're getting hard punished, they're going to leave you in the dust, and you're going to suffer the whole game. That's, of course, not to say that you're always going to get help or even deserve help. I'm just saying, if there's free gold to be had, usually they're going to come and collect it. There's not too much to say about this game, so we're zooming through it. Our team made the call to start the Baron, and I wasn't fully on board with it. I have teleport advantage onto the Darius, that's why he was stomping us in the early game, and I wanted to use it on the Soul Drake, because if he's top lane, we have the 4v5. They forced the Baron. Actually does end up being the right call. It's just a risk I didn't want to take, but we're lucky that they did that call, because we end up cleaning up the Darius, who for most of this game just kept split push dying. It did seem like he was a bit angry that everyone was capitalizing on his errors early, and yeah, he just lost the plot and kept splitting. Maybe that was his strategy the whole time, who knows. Either way, we got the Baron, pushed mid, and went straight through. I'm not confident in my Gragas, so I just went for objectives while they went for kills. This ends up netting us another 21 LP. First game of the day, and we win. This is back-to-back wins, so we're now 6 wins in a row from the last video, and we're going for 10. Game number 2, we're playing Braum up against Karma and Ezreal, which is an extremely heavy poke lane. We can't fight for that level 2, so what we did is let them push us in and poke us down. We didn't really have a choice. Fortunately, Nocturne was trying to invade the enemy blue side. It was taken, so we end up getting an early gank from him. I managed to land my Q tag onto the enemy support, so I know she's going down. No point in wasting this gold and experience. We put all those hours we spent with Braum top to good use here by managing to secure all the farm, except for the 2 that I missed. I, of course, being Tilterella, got bored of the bot lane, decided there's not much I can do there other than get destroyed by the poke, so why not start roaming? This is something I've seen no one else do, really. You should ping your skills. Like, if you see us chasing down this Ivan, and I know my Q's coming up, I can ping and let my team know when it's coming up, so that they keep chasing, rather than allowing them to guess or pull away because they don't realize what I'm trying to achieve. It's just a small thing that makes a very big difference. We end up stealing some of the jungle camps, and on the way out, the Nocturne gets clipped by the Karma. Someone is going down here. I don't want it to be the jungle, so looks like it's time to be a noble support. I was going to base anyway, right? What's the difference? I try pulling her as far away from the action as possible. I don't know what's happening over there, but just in case it matters. I've said it before, and I'll say it once again. The best thing about roaming is that the enemy bot laner feels pressured to play more aggressive and try and engage onto the 2v1. And you can rotate back to the bot lane and catch them off guard in the middle of this. That's what's happening in this clip. Ezreal, as soon as it was a 2v1, he wastes his E on the way in, and this allows us to sneak in there and make something happen where it wouldn't otherwise happen. It is unfortunate that it went the way it did. This was still a really good opportunity to get the Jinx quite fed though, so not too bad. The wave state in bot lane is left in shambles, which means my job there was done. I head off to have fun while Jinx deals with that, and we join the team fight, which is happening onto the Tryndamere. This is a trend that happened over and over this game. As a team, we were putting way too many resources into trying to kill him. It's clear he has the edge over Galio, so we should have just ignored that. Eventually, I figured that out and stopped going for him, but the jungler, he kept at it. This play that we were talking about before, where once we're roaming, they start doing these 1v1s and we can jump in and make some action happen. Here it is once again, another example, but this time it plays in our favor and our Jinx manages to get the goal, which is a big deal because this Jinx knows how to play that champion, and a little bit of gold goes a long way on someone who knows how to play a champion. It didn't take long for us to find a team fight that benefited our team. We have a pretty decent lineup with the Braum and Galio engaged. Jinx can sit behind and pick up all these free kills. Yeah, it didn't take long at all. 14 minutes, Jinx was picking up kill after kill, and she was soon a problem that the enemy team just could no longer handle. I just cannot help myself when it comes to these Rift Heralds. Like, I know you're meant to hit the tower, but I just want to run into the enemy team. It's that simple. Almost as simple as it was for us to get this Elo. We got the Baron, closed the game out immediately after, and we gained 20 LP. So we are now sitting on 244 LP Master on a 7-win spree. Let's hope we can keep it up. Sticky situation here we found ourselves. We're auto-filled into ADC. I end up telling my team my preference roles. Unfortunately, our support can play Ziggs, so we end up swapping roles. He's now the ADC Ziggs, and I'm support Sion. Immediately, this game starts off with our team invading enemy red side. We're trying to get some vision. We don't see anybody, no one at all, and this is usually a pretty big red flag. It tells me that clearly they are invading us, because there's surely someone that you spot, or you spot a ward or something. So immediately I know there's some trouble brewing in our red side. So I tell the Ziggs to late invade. We have such a strong level 1. If I suicide with Sion, we can almost guarantee take anyone off the buff. So it's a very good idea to late invade and actually fight them. It's always so funny how easy it is to bait the enemy team into trying to get the red buff. I may have forgot to mention that we're actually playing double jungle Sion, not support Sion. Getting that buff there was a big deal for us. It gets us to level 2. We ended up getting 3 sides of the jungle. Talia only got her blue side. That's why you can see her coming to check our jungle camps. But we've taken them all, and this puts us in a great position. We're pincering onto the enemy jungle. 3 of us. It looks promising. but Talia manages to land a well-timed combo onto Nidalee, killing her immediately, and then we get flanked by the Pyke, which means we are now the ones that are outnumbered and out of position. We have no flash because of previous engagements, so we're dead. Our only objective now is to try and lower them as much as possible. Maybe we can get a passive kill again. Nidalee manages to respawn and head all the way back into the fight, and she's here to clean up. Skipping ahead to 10 minutes, I'm attempting to get a gank onto the bot lane. So far, things have not gone our team's way. The enemy team has leads in all 3 lanes, top, mid, and bottom. Despite our efforts, Yasuo still manages to kill the Ziggs, which means our gank did not help the laner. It benefited me, but not Ziggs. There were so many of these skirmish type fights, the ones that just don't make sense and keep happening. Camille ended up in the bot lane, Ziggs top, all our lanes just rotating all over the map, but every time it just seems to benefit the enemy team. I also feel like I didn't have great synergy with this Renekton. There were multiple times this game where he just straight up didn't respond to what I was doing. I feel like even at level 3, that clip you saw, he wasn't responding the way I wanted him to. I mean, just a lot of things like that. And the enemy team was heavily capitalizing on all these situations. Despite that, the scoreline, it was still pretty close. A lot of gold was on me though, which isn't what I want to see when I'm playing double jungle. I'm not trying to be a main carry, I'm trying to be a support, even though obviously I'm not playing the support role. Either way, it did seem like the enemy team had a significant advantage when it came to team fights. Their teamwork was much better because they were actually working together, not doing individual stuff. And our Camille for most of this game was just straight split pushing, never helping with any objective or anything like that. There's 10 seconds until the Drake spawns. Enemy team has all of them so far. This is the 3rd one, and we see a teleport come in. It is Kaiser. We manage to land the Q, hoping that Ziggs will follow it up, but he gets immediately picked off before I even realize what has happened. Now we're in a 3v1, out of position, and our team is trying to rush down the Drake. It's not looking good at all. Enemy Akali picks up 2 kills and we practically ace. That was the moment that it went from looking hard to impossible. I of course vote no because it is solo queue and anyone can make a mistake. Their main player though, Akali, is in the bot lane and we've just killed their quote-unquote ADC Yasuo. So technically we're at a 3v5 and the best thing to do is force this Baron. Even if we're not trying to secure the Baron itself, we're trying to make the enemy team engage onto us and maybe we can ace them, then get the Baron, but their poke is tremendous. The combination between Talia and the AP Kaiser instantly kills our Renekton and we're scrambling now. Even though this goes heavily in the enemy's favor, it did teach us something quite valuable. We need to avoid these type of team fights. That's what this showed us. We can't take them in a 4v5 or a 5v5, so we just need to try and 1-3-1 is probably going to be the best option. I can see that while we're losing, our team members are good enough. It's clearly just a compositional issue that we're struggling with, and that's what we end up doing. Our team now starts doing 1-3-1, Renekton in the top, Camille in the bot lane, and she manages to kill the Akali one-on-one. This is huge. Not having their main carry allows us to start and engage onto the enemy team. We managed to kill a couple of them. I'm quite low HP, so is the Camille, and they have a Pyke. So I was going to opt to go for the safer route, which was the Baron, but Ziggs forces our hand, teleports in, and you go where your team goes. So we are full committing, trying to end this game right here and right now. Good thing we listened. The Ziggs was right. We end up walking through and killing them one by one, leading into another victory. We're now sitting at 260 LP. This leads into game number 4. I'm playing top again. It just seems like for whatever reason, we cannot get support. We're up against a Zoe. This is a one-trick Zoe. and I don't think he plays top unless he has to. But with that being said, I don't really have much experience when it comes to versing Zoe top. As you would imagine, there's not many people playing it, so it's hard to get good at it. What I will say is it's very aggressive, especially with the new map setup that they got going here. It is so easy for the Zoe to just completely demolish you under tower when you're on blue side, that is. So quite aggressive. Eventually I decided, screw this shit, I'm gonna try and get behind the tower. It probably wasn't the best idea. I didn't time it quite as good as I should have. I was pretty frustrated, and that's probably why. We ended up getting chased down by both mid and jungle. It's not too bad though. I stalled as long as possible. We ended up getting 2 waves with this play and wasting a lot of their time. You can see Yasuo in the mid lane clearing ahead. I mean, we're matching the clock. We fed a bit of gold over, but what can you do, right? Sadly, this wasn't the only time that we died to Nidalee. It's hard to do anything because if I sit at the tower, I get abused, so I have to try and push forward, but it's then very easy for Zoe to land the sleep onto me. So yeah, I was a bit of a sitting duck. Fast forwarding into the future, all you're missing is a bunch of abuse from Zoe onto me. I managed to catch a free gank in the bot lane. I asked my team which summoner spells had been used, and absolutely no one responded to me. So we end up going in, and guess what? They had every single goddamn spell. And it backfires, of course, because they're insanely mobile with spells. We all die. The only positive being that we managed to get rid of bot lane summoner spells. Considering Graves is hard camping bot, we can only pray that this ends up paying off for the future. Really hard to have any impact against Zoe. We could not kill her. All we could do was farm. So I was looking for any opportunity to come down and try and shift the tide in our favor. This was one of those moments where we managed to teleport down and get a decent kill onto the enemy Nidalee, who had been annoying us, so I was pretty happy about that. The game goes on where we just keep side splitting. I mean, that's how we're going to win this game. They have a Zoe top, so if I get a hull breaker and stack MR, there's not too much they can do about it. Nidalee was their most fed champion, and she was trying to match me in the bot lane, which turns out to be a mistake. I can easily beat her, and our team ends up winning the 4v4 and turning this into a Baron play. We get the tower, die for it, but we get the Baron, and this is the start of the end for the enemy team. They're getting outsplit and beat in the 4v4. There's not much they're going to do from this point on. The Baron converts into an open inhibitor. I end up leaving immediately and recalling rather than sticking around and fighting. They did what they always do, stick around and fight, and got punished. A couple of them end up dying on the retreat. This leaves us in a very odd situation where they have the ability to push into our base, and to counter that, I decided to push in their base. They have to make the call now. Do they want to save their second inhibitor or attempt to get one of ours? This is definitely the best way to go about it. It's almost always the best option to get the enemy team to respond to you rather than responding to the enemy team, because that way you're controlling the tempo. If I force this, they all recall, they're chasing after me. You know, like if I had to recall and they get to push forward, we gain nothing. We only have something to risk. This way, they're the ones risking. For the most part anyway, because if you probably are smart enough, you've realized that the Baron is now spawning because of my death. This opens up the entry for them to try and attempt to take it. However, I kind of want this. This is perfectly timed for us. 15 seconds on my clock, plus I have teleport. They're not going to be able to kill it that quick. We can immediately teleport in. This is an optimal situation for our team. Just like that, the game is over. One split push, one poor decision leads into another, leads into us claiming another 21 LP. We're now sitting at 260 LP, and we're absolutely ready for game number 4, praying it's not Zoe. Game number 5, we're off roll again. We are ADC, we tried swapping this time, no one could swap. Last pick, ADC Kayle. The comp does look good, so I'm hopeful. Things start off very strong. We are winning overall in team gold, plus we're picking up kills in bot lane. We're not meant to be getting gold or kills as ADC Kayle. So if we're getting anything, that means we are super far ahead. Things started off great this game, picking up a kill, 2 assists. but unfortunately they take a turn for the worse. I did tell Alistair that I just want to farm, and he kept going in. I thought this was a good engage. I tried to ult so that he can carry the damage onto the enemy ADC, but it ended up doing nothing. And that was the biggest fault of all. I shouldn't have ulted the Alistair. I should have just let them damage Alistair and then get the kill. 100% my fault. I wish he didn't go in, but after he did go in, it could have worked if I just ulted myself. That was the start of the downfall, and now that I have no ult, it's on a massive cooldown and I can get bullied out. Yeah, from here, it is a sinking ship. The game went on for quite a while. We did manage to farm up. It's now 25 minutes. The scoreline is in our favor, 35-29. But out of nowhere, the enemy ADC just started one-popping us. Like, absolutely one-pops. It was insane. This is the final team fight. We teleport in. Kennen is dead before we even enter the fight. He was a big chunk of our damage as well. We're sitting in this Kindred ult. Everyone's low HP. There's really no one to ult. They get mad at me for not ulting, but honestly, it doesn't matter who I ult there. You're not winning the game. It is over. Even if Kindred's alive for like 2 more seconds, what's that matter? You don't have the damage to kill anybody. We lose, just like that. I went back to rewatch the last team fight because I honestly didn't know how it went so poorly. We were slightly ahead in damage, so there was a chance we could have won this. And then after rewatching it, I can see that Kennen got instantly one-popped as well. Unfortunate, does happen though.